Welcome to today's session. And as you can see, today is a mixture of two interesting tools, though we are going to be using the two tools within one tool. So it's Python and in Excel. So Python and Excel, but it's going to be everything in Excel. So for those of you who maybe are completely new to Python or the announcement that has been in the years for some months now that you can natively use Python within Excel, this will be a good opportunity for you to see this. And taking us on this session is Brian. Uh, this session is brought to you by your BizEdge and MHS Analytics. Your BizEdge, we're a training company here in Nigeria, and we provide consulting and training services to clients, corporate clients, individual clients. And so if you need training, you know a company that needs training or even consulting in Power BI, financial modeling, Microsoft Excel, SQL, uh, we are your one of your good choices. Okay. And MHS Analytics is also same services, but based in North America, actually Canada. So via this, we provide direct services to the US, Canadian market, and also Europe, some UK clients too. So if you know anyone who maybe is based out of maybe a cousin, a family relative who is based out of Nigeria, based in maybe Canada or US, and this might be more convenient for them to reach out to us via, it might be more convenient for them to reach out to us via MHS Analytics. Okay, I'll share the links in the website, in the chat, the website in the chat. So today we are going to be we're going to be going through this topic, via Brian taking us through Python in Excel. Brian is a data analyst with over 3 years experience in dashboards, reports, pipeline, statistical analysis, data pipeline. And I will share his LinkedIn in the chat, and he's already ready for us. So I'm going to hand over to Brian. So Brian, over to you. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you very much, Michael. Let me just try and share my screen. Okay, please kindly confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, I see your screen. Yes.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Um, Today I'm going to be talking about introduction to Python in Excel. I'm not really going to be going too deep in case there are some programmers here who may be expecting to maybe me utilize all the whole function in Python. It's still under review. So all the functionalities are not yet out, but there are quite a lot of libraries that are supported by with Python and Excel. So um
Brian,
yeah, yes.
your audio is crackling. Do you know what
Okay.
can be?
Can you hear me better now?
Oh, yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Um, as I was saying, I said today I'm going to be talking about introduction to Python in Excel, but I'm not going to go deep dive into the Python. I'm really going to talk about the basics because this picture is still in the rollout phase. It can only be available to those on the beta channel, so it's not available to everybody. So today I'm not really going to go too deep, but I'm going to talk about how you can use Python to do basic Excel calculations and how to even use it to plot graphs and charts. Okay, so the outline for today, I'm going to um, talk about how we can get started with Python. I'm going to show you how, if you're interested in having Python on your own Excel, how you can get it. I'm going to talk about how we can calculate um, how to insert Python in Excel, how to assign values to variables, and arithmetic and calculations, how to calculate in Python, and also how to call libraries and functionalities of the libraries. There are some libraries are supported with Python in Excel. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some charts. We're going to plot some charts time willing. So let's get right into business. Okay,
Uh,
so
okay, one small thing, Brian. I want to ask, are you using a headset?
yes, I'm using a headset.
Is it like a Bluetooth headset or a wired one?
No, the normal headset, the wired one.
Okay. I don't know why it looks. Okay, if you can just help us maybe position the mic closer to your mouth, then
Okay, let me
that would help.
actually. Okay, let me speak out. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay, let me just increase my voice.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
great, thanks.
yeah. So let's go straight into business. So let me see. So please be you can drop questions on the chat box. I'll be going down to look at the questions in case anyone has any questions as time as we progress. Okay, no one has dropped anyone yet. So first of all, what's Python? In case for those who don't really, I'm sure most people know about Python, but really don't really know what Python is about. So Python is a powerful and popular programming tool and programming language that also supports data analytics activities such as data manipulation, data visualization. Um, so okay. So as I was saying, it supports data manipulation, data visualization, statistical modeling, machine learning, and etc. So Python in Excel brings the world of analytics and Python together. You can use powerful Python libraries to create visualizations, machine learning models, and other advanced analytics. So Python in Excel is directly integrated to the fabric of Excel with the py function. We're talking about that shortly. And in Excel, it's used to clean, manipulate data, train machine learning models. That's for those who are into data science, create compelling plots, that's charts and graphs, and all and many more within the Excel environment. So Python works in Microsoft Cloud as a compliant Microsoft 365 connected services. What this means is that Python is on the cloud. So um, without internet connection, you cannot use Python in Excel. So you need to have internet connection. So it has so this thing has its own advantage and its own disadvantage. So the advantage of this is that because Python itself as a program, there are a lot of updates, monthly updates, weekly updates. So we don't have to go through all that updates because it's on the cloud. Microsoft will just be updating it for us. So all we have to use is just to use the finished version. And the limitation of that is that for big organizations who have issues with privacy and security, they may not want to do all those kind of work on the cloud. So so that's it. So let's quickly let me share a link on the chats where you can easily go and get Python. I mean,
Brian, are you still there?
Yes,
We
yes,
lost
yes.
initially.
I'm still here. I'm trying to find the um. Okay.
Is it a link? You said
Yes, a
something like
link
a
to
link to
the
Python.
yes, a link to the Microsoft Insider program.
Okay, you can go on.
Correct.
I will look for that and share.
Okay.
We
All
don't
right.
take the.
So in order to get started with Python, you need to go to the Microsoft 365. Like you need to have the Microsoft Insider program. There are many ways to go about it, but that's the formal way to get the Microsoft. Like you have to go to Microsoft 365 Insider program and you have to sign up for it. And you can easily sign up if you're using. I prefer to go to the website so I can even explain to you. I actually had it somewhere, but maybe when I have it again, I'll still go back and explain. So you from there, if you're using a work account, if you're using work accounts, like I'm using a work account, you will need to tell you guys in your IT or your management to allow you to subscribe for the Insiders program. But if you're using your own personal account, the paid personal account, you can easily switch to the Insiders program. So what this allows you to do is to switch channel. So let me quickly show you an example. So once you once you've signed up to the Microsoft 365 Microsoft Insider program, you will see it here as one of these options are here. Me, I'm not signed into that because I'm using Enterprise. Enterprise is for work. So those of you who are on personal or private, you can you will see the Microsoft Insiders program here as an option. So when you click on it, you can now change it to beta channel. Because you're most likely going to be on current channel. You can see mine is beta channel. So when you put it on beta channel, that way you'll be able to get Python in Excel. But let me warn you, it doesn't come up immediately. Sometimes it takes like for me, it took almost a week. I even lost hope. I thought it was not going to come until I then saw it, and then I made more research on how it works. And from what I saw, most people said it took about a week. That's because it's not fully out as a function. They're still rolling it out. So so that is it. I will the next thing we'll be talking about is how to insert Python in Excel. So don't be scared. Python. You may be wondering who's the audience for Python in Excel. Like, because most of the things, like some of the things that Python, please, I'm going to be showing you here, are things you can actually still use Excel to do. But the difference is that it's faster to using Python. It's really faster. You rather than knowing many formulas and knowing many, you can just know one Python formula and you can get a lot of insight from your data through that. So let's talk about different ways of accessing Python from in your Excel. So as you can see, the first one is to go to formula, and when you go to the formula, you would see insert Python. So you can actually do this. So if you click on the drop down, you see Python in Excel. So click on Python in Excel. So that brings this new mode called Python mode. So you can see PY there in before the as this just after the dots after the after like just before you write your text. So the py here indicates that this is a Python formula. This separates this from I mean this is a Python code. This separates this from other cells in Excel. So this is the one way you can go there. So let's leave. So there's another way you can also go there. You can just go to the cell and you can easily do equals to py, and you can see it's part of your function and you can click on it. So that also allows you to use Python in Excel. And then the third way to get it is a shortcut. You use Control on your keyboard, Control Shift Alt and P. I know that sounds long, but it's actually very comfortable because these keys are in separate parts of your keyboard. Control Shift Alt and P also gives you Python mode. Okay, so let's talk about variables. But before then, let me quickly write something inside here. Let's um let's type in hello world, as that is usually the most common um hello world. Let's see how it looks. So let's enter. So as you can see, if you click on enter, nothing happens. It just takes you to the next line. If you click on enter again, it takes you to the next line. So in order to run your Python code, it's not enter you write. As you can see this tooltip here, it says use control enter to commit Python code. So control enter runs the code. So let me do that. Sorry. Okay. So you can see hello world here. So we've written our first Python code into Excel. So we are going to let's talk about we noticed when we actually ran the code, it was showing busy. That's also to tell you that the code is not running on your local desktop. It's actually on the cloud. So it's not instant. It takes time to calculate it and then gets back to you. So you need internet connection to work with Python in Excel. I'm stating it again. So the next thing we'll be talking about is assigning values to variables. So this is a very important part. So I would like to teach you this way so that you can understand it very well. There, like this, we're progressing to more complex tasks. So assigning values to variables. So for example, let's come here, this cell D3, and let's put in our Python. So we want to create a variable and add values to it. Okay. So let's create, for example, let's say, let's use people's name. Let's use um, Mohammed, for example. Right. So this Mohammed now equals to, that means is a variable. So what are variables? Variables are like containers, basically. So in Python, you can store information in a variable and call that variable to use it later on. And we are going to still apply it here. So we are going to store values in variables here. So let's store a value here. Let's store, for example, let's store 70. Let's say Mohammed has 70 something, maybe he has 70 oranges. Okay, let's say Mohammed's orange. So also note, you cannot use space. You have to use underscore. This is it uses the same coding syntax. So you cannot use space when you're writing defining a variable. You must use underscore. That's if you must put a space in between. So let's also put okay, let's just run this and let's see how it comes out. So we can see 70 here. Okay. So another thing you have to take note of is that in Python is the last value in the particular code that we show in the cell. So let's add another variable here. So let's add another variable. Let's add Gabriel, Gabe, Gabe's Gabe's orange. Let's say he has about 25 orange. Okay, so let's run it. So you can see 25 here. Actually, there are more values here. There's also 70 and there's 25. So, but in Python, it just shows the last code. So let's do more. Let's um let's 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 sum it. Let's go to another cell and sum all these things we have here. And we're going to sum it by referencing the name of the variable Mohammed orange and Gibbs orange. So we'll go to another place and we'll also go into Python mode, Control Shift Alt P, and we'll say total orange. That's the name of this variable, but in this case, total orange. Sorry. Total orange equals to Mohammed. So you can see every variable you create on this worksheet, that is this particular worksheet, no matter how many sheets you create, you can always call it anywhere and you can always use it for your analysis or whatever you're trying to do. So you can see the name of the variable is already stored. So all we have to do is just to pick it. So Mohammed's orange plus the other person was Gabe. So let's call Gabe orange. So let's run it, Control Enter. So we can see the total of this is 95 and we've gotten 95. So you can use Python to do all these basic analysis to in Excel. So let's try and combine this with other Excel values and see whether it's going to work. So let's say there was another, let's say there was Ada, Ada has orange, right? And let's say Ada had about 19. So I want to add this to this. Um, I'm just trying to show you that you can also add, even though it's not a Python a Python value or a Python object, you can still add an Excel value object to your Python calculations, and you can still get a result. So let's do that. So we can do that plus by adding the plus sign, and we can now reference it here. This is where the value is, and Control Enter. And we can see the total has changed. Total orange is equals to 114. So this is basically how to use Python to this is about variables and how to store values inside variables in Python. So it's similar when we progress. It's similar to when you're also trying to reference a table or something. So let's go to the next example. Okay, so um, so it's also another key thing to understand here before I progress. It's also important to understand how this Python calculation works. Okay, so for example, this code we put here, this total orange, right? Now, if we copy this code, right, and take it to somewhere else, let's take it here on top. You can see what happens. It shows you Python, and when it shows Python like this, there's another diagnostics panel that comes up. This diagnostics panel is to show you there's an error. So it's showing you that the name Mohammed Orange is not defined. But actually, Mohammed Orange is actually defined. So what could be the problem? The problem is that Python doesn't work anyhow. It works from left to right and top to bottom. So it's very important to know this while you're arranging your code. So you want to put you want to put, if for example if this is the total, it cannot be here. It can only be somewhere after I've already called like the values I'm trying to use to calculate. So somewhere here. Okay, let's just do this. If I take this here, change this to Python. If I bring it by the left, that's changed back to 114. So if I take it back down, it's still like the most important thing to know is that the way it goes is from the left to the right. That is, you need to can make your calculations. You need to store your variables on the. It's best to store your variables you want to call or use for calculations at the leftmost part of the sheet. And it's also the same thing. For example, if I go and put another variable in another sheet that is not this sheet, it also works the same thing from the left sheet to the rightmost sheet. So if we, for example, we want to call a variable that is on the fourth sheet to come and do some calculations here, it's going to show you that it's not seeing it, right? Because it's the way it goes is from left to right. Let me just quickly see if there's any question. Okay, no question yet. Okay. So please ask questions if you have any questions. So next we'll be going to arithmetics and calculations. So there's also another important thing to note. In order in, in order not to slow your workbook, that is, in order to make sure that your calculations are fast and quick, you need to know what this function, this calculate option is. I think this was recently created, and that's because if you finally get to work with a lot of formulas and sheets, and maybe you have a very extensive workbook that has a lot of sheets, okay, so you would not, because you wouldn't want this, because Python is on the cloud. You would do, and every time you hit enter or control enter, enter for just maybe an Excel value, maybe you're doing A1 plus A2, normal Excel, not Python, and you hit enter, everything, every formula and every Python code on the workbook will be calculated. So if it's a very big workbook that you've done a whole lot of calculations and formulas, you would not want it to be recalculating like that every time. So you will need to know what this means, these calculate options. So there are three options: automatic, partial, and manual. So for automatic, that means calculations will be done automatically as soon as you hit enter or control enter. Control enter, that's when you've inserted your Python code, and maybe you've written a code and you want it to run. Control enter. So partial, if you set it at partial, this means that only Excel um, formulas or calculations will be calculated. Python formulas will not be calculated. You have to calculate it manually. And then the last option, manually, that means you have to calculate everything manually. So let's set it at manual and let's see what it means. So I set my own calculation at manual. So let's go to this one, for example. And let's say the value at that orange changed from 19 to 25, and I hit enter. And you notice that nothing changed. It's still the same 114. That's because I have to come here, is calculate now and hit it. That's to calculate it manually. So it's very important to also note this in case you start working with Python and you have a lot of formulas around, except to slow down your work and then it can lead to hanging and all these things which you don't want. So let's put it back at automatic. This is what we'll be using for now. So,
Brian, so there's a question. So
okay.
Pawan is asking that if he or she has sheet one and there's also a sheet two and wants to link across the two sheets, but Python that can, let me just read it. If sheet one have some value and sheet two need to link from sheet one to a particular value, can we do that automated in Python? Like, can we link between two sheets in Python? Can you have some things
Yes,
in,
yes,
okay.
yes. You can link between two sheets in Python. You can even like, but we'll not be talking about that. But like, you can even get data. You don't even have like the data will be working. It doesn't even have to be on the Excel sheet. It could be something we've loaded in our query or connection. We can get data from all these sources, and we can still use it in Python. So it's not limited to just what you have on your work on your workbook. You can use data from various sources for your analysis with Python. I hope I answered that questions. And yes, you can automate with Python. You can automate with Python, but I'm not going to talk about automation in Python today. Okay, so the next one we are going to do some quick calculations in Python. So before that, let's go to this other sheet, this Canada population. So here I have a table. Though it's not a table in Excel, it's just arranged like a table of the historic population of all the provinces in Canada from 1951 to I think 2023, different months and everything. So let's quickly see what we've been practicing here. So the first thing we want to do, um, we would want to load this in a data frame. So let me just create enough space. I'll just do it. Okay, so we'll put Python mode, Control Shift Alt P, and then um, we would say, so you can give your whatever the data frame a name, right? So let's give the data frame a name, just like as we're doing with variables, we give them each variable a name. So let's call this variable um, Canada's population. another underscore population, right? And this is equals to, I'm going to highlight the whole of this table because that is what we want to load onto our data frame. So when we load that to our data frame, it's actually going to load online. Okay, and then control enter. So you can see we have our data frame here. So so another thing to note here is that right now, even when we were here, all the results were coming out in Python as a Python object. We can also show the value as an Excel value. So in order to do that, you come up here before the code, you will see here there's a drop down. One is Python objects, which is currently loaded at, and the other one is Excel value. So let's take a look at it in Excel value. So Excel value is basically going to still return the same, because data frame in Python is still almost like table, like two-dimensional tables that have rows and header. So it's still the same thing. So we just loaded this data into our data frame. That is so that Python can know that, okay, this is, if we call it Canada pop, it knows that, okay, this is what we're referring to, right? So so it's taking a lot of space. So let's convert it back to Python object. So let's do some I want us to do some calculations on this table. So some of the calculations we'll do, let's do the basic ones first before we go to more serious ones. Let's do sum. Let's sum all the, we can sum all the okay, it's not, let's do mean. Okay. It doesn't make sense to use sum here, but this is the populations. So let's go to, I had another table here. So let's come here and let's create another data frame equals to, let's just call this data frame equals to Control Shift Alt P, df equals to this. Control Enter. Okay. So if we, for example, if we want to sum all the other quantity here on this, you can see other quantity that we've had as a, because this is an invoice, this is an order, this is like an order, another workbook. Like there are a lot, like maybe a company has a lot of orders for the whole time period. So we want to sum all the total number of orders we've gotten from this company. So we've actually, don't forget, we've loaded this same data set into the data frame. So we have it there and we call it df. So now let's do that again. Let's sum it. So we'll go to Python mode or Control Shift Alt P and df dot um order quantity dot sum, open and close brackets. You can see it took time to calculate because there are a lot. So you can see there are about 2,348,631 orders. We can still go there and you can see that it's still the same amount we have here. So that's how to do summation. Then if you want to do mean, or if you want to do average, average is same thing as mean. So you just replace that sum with mean and hit Control Enter. You still get your mean, right? So if you want to do other things, for example, if you want to use other Python formulas like pandas, because for example, there are a lot of libraries, and I didn't. Okay, let me take you through this too. So if you come down to Python and you go to these initializations, you see all the things that were loaded that on default you have on this Python in Excel. So you have it has imported NumPy, it has imported pandas, it has imported matplotlib, it has imported Seaborn, and stats model. Like there are a whole lot of libraries here for you to use. So all you need to do, because even me, I don't know all the syntax, like all the codes to use. So you can simply just go to their website. Let me show you that quickly. Um, so you can simply just go to their website. This is for pandas. You can come here, or this is Matplog, all their libraries are here, like how to use them and how to go about them. If you still having issues, you can always use Google what do you call it? Yeah, Microsoft Bing is one of the best AIs available. So that's basically like ChatGPT 4.0. So that's basically like ChatGPT 4.0 for free. So you can use Microsoft Bing to ask it questions and to show you the formulas to use. So that is that. So let's try some other formulas we have in Python. Let's use for example, let's use describe. We use describe, we use info, we also use correlation. Okay, let's describe this data set. So we we must always go to Python mode. So insert Python, um, df, that's the name of this data set. So we are trying to describe it. So it's going to be df dot describe, control enter. Okay, so it has loaded the data frame. So we want to convert that data frame to an Excel value. So quickly, we can see that Python has summarized this table for us. It's showing us the count in each of the columns. It's showing us the mean of all of them, showing us the standard deviation, the minimum, the maximum, 50%. You can quickly see this with normal Excel. You have to do various use various formulas. You have to do count. You have to do mean. You have to do minimum. You have to do different formulas to get all these results. But Python, you can just get them at once, and you can know what you're using data for. There's also another one called info. So what info does, it gives you insights on the data. So the diagnosis has come up. So it's going to show you by all the columns. You see the first column, there are 8,847 values in it. Or the second one, you can see this this other quantity is showing you that it's an integer. So it's not only just telling you, like it's also giving you insight on what type of data is inside the column, how many values are, how many, like what's the count of the data and all those informations. Then there's also another one which is correlation. Let's try and use correlation here. Okay, correlation. Let's see. Correlation is more like relationship between A and B, relationship between, like, so in this case, there's from B to L, I mean B to K, that's 10. So there are 10 values here that we would like to see the correlation between each of them. So the data, the data frame here, we call it Canada pop. So we'll go to Python mode, Control Shift Alt P, and we'll say Canada pop, dots correlation, open and close bracket, enter. So we'll have to convert it again from Python object to an Excel value. So we can see the correlation, sorry. So we can see the correlation between each of these provinces with the other ones in terms of population. So you can use this. So if you have stock, this is used a lot if you have like stock and you want to see, maybe compare the stocks between two or more companies. You can use the correlation to quickly do an analysis and see how to get insight or more insight from your data, basically. Then let's filter for correlation. So another thing is like the way it's set now is giving us the correlation for each and every one of the provinces, including Canada, like as a country, amongst themselves. But if we want to be more specific and say, okay, we want just certain provinces to compare within themselves, this can also be used in any function, describe, info, any function, any function in Python. What we have to do is just to come here, beside this Canada pop, open two square brackets and curly brackets, a curly bracket. And the first, so there, let's look at the provinces here. We have a lot of provinces here. So we want to see BC, that is British Columbia. We also would like to see Quebec, QC. Would also would like to see Ontario, ON. And this is okay. Let's see. So we just want to see how these three provinces compare to themselves. Again, control enter to run it. And you can see the three of them. So we filtered, basically we filtered the table with just codes. Okay, we just use codes to filter the table, and now we've gotten just three, exactly what we want to see, to get insight on. So we can see British Columbia is obviously correlated exactly to itself. That's why it's showing one here. So it's closer with Ontario than Quebec. While so you can use the data, you can use all these formulas to get more insight from your data, depending on whatever data you have. So that was quickly how to use correlation. So the next one we'll be doing, let's try and see if we can plot some charts. So let's plot some charts on this particular data set here. So we want to plot, let's plot a line chart. So the same way, we go to open Python mode, Control Shift Alt P, and we put in the formula. So we want to, it's Canada pop dots, because we want to plot open bracket. So it's basically, we are going to be very specific. What do we want on the x-axis? So on the x-axis, we want to put the date, this date here. We want it to be on the x-axis. We want to see how their population compare to each other over time. So we'll open our curly bracket and put date. Okay, comma. Then also the y-axis. What are we going to show in the y-axis? So basically, we want to show one province. Let's say Ontario. So let's open our curly bracket again and put ON Ontario. And then we close the bracket and hit enter. So an image has popped up here. So let's convert this from this to an Excel value. So right now there is actually a picture there. I don't know why this is popping up. There's actually a picture here, but it's just so small. So in order to expand it, we just have to merge it together with all these empty cells. So we can quickly see our graph of Ontario. You can see how the population moves from 1951 down to 2014 or the current year. So this doesn't make much sense because it's just one province. So we prefer to compare it amongst other provinces. Like, let's get more insight. So let's add more provinces. So don't forget, when you want to add more provinces, you have to use your square brackets. That is means you want to add more columns. So we're adding more provinces. We're adding SK for Saskatchewan. We're also adding let's add QC for no, curly bracket QC for Quebec. Yeah, so let's close this and hit enter. Okay, so like this, we can quickly compare how the population growth happens between from inception to recent times between these provinces. And you see Ontario has always been higher than the rest of them. So these are some of the ways you can use Python to do quick analysis in Excel. You can use it. So we've talked about how to use it to you can store values inside. You can use it to you can um, load your table or data and send it to Python on the cloud and call it wherever you are on the workbook. You can also use it for visualizations. You can use it um, for a whole lot of things that we may not cover here. Let me see if there is any questions. Any new questions? Any new questions?
For, for now, no questions, no new questions.
Okay.
Just one comment.
Okay.
So I noticed, when you are typing you and you are reading out what you are typing. So where you say curly brackets, it was like the double quotes you are typing.
Yes.
Yeah, just wanted to point out that because I was just like, oh, it's like in your head you have swapped the two, like you are calling the double quotes curly brackets. I just wanted to say,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
but no,
sorry.
I know
It's
it's just it
yeah, it's
happens to
double
me
quotes.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually meant
But
double
all
quotes.
is, I think people are getting it. Jennifer has commented, I know it's great. She's following, and
Okay.
so far all good.
So basically, anyways, so there are a lot of so as a, you can always go like this Python in Excel is still in the rollout phase. So it's not all like all the graph, for example, all this graph you can see here on Seaborn, it may not be all of them that will work in Excel. And also basically we know the charts we have on Excel are very limited. If we go to where is it? Charts. So if you just go to the charts, you see all the charts you have here. So they're very limited. You don't really have a lot of options. There are only a few. But with Python, you can use all these charts. All you need to do is to import it, as you can see. So if you're trying to import something that is not already here, maybe you're trying to import JSON or you're trying to import PY. Um, but try if you're trying to involve or PY touch here. If you're trying to import something that is not here, that's when you have to import it directly. Maybe you can now start with okay, let me give you an example. Control Alt P. So you can now go with you want to import PY, for example, you go to import P touch. PY touch, I mean as PY. So basically if you run it, it's going to show nothing or string pattern. Hmm. This is crazy. Anyways, okay, let's try again. Control Shift Alt P. Import PY touch. As PY. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. Maybe my syntax is wrong. Um, so syntax is everything here anyway. So as you see what I said, so everything is now loading again. So if you don't want that, you will now have to go and adjust the setting to make it load manually so that if you're doing a whole lot of work, you can see it's just be loading every time. So it doesn't really make too much sense. So you would prefer to like load it every time you want to load it. So that's why you have those calculate options. Okay, so I think can you just throw questions. Any questions you have, maybe even something you would like to see us try. We can always try it. Let me see the comment section. Anything you want to see us try, we can always try it. Um, Okay, no question yet. So when that comes, um, so that's majorly all for me. I just wanted to
Okay.
introduce everyone to the concept of Python in Excel and how to use it to do quick calculations and fast and to make your work easier. All
Okay.
right.
Thanks a lot. Just want to ask on behalf of, I know people were, it's going to be tough for them to be able to even follow and practice as you are doing, because what if they've not enabled insider? What if today is when they even set it up? And like you said, there's always going to be a delay between when you turn on the insider beta and when this pops up. So the ask on behalf of everyone is maybe the file, so I can put in the chat for them or put somewhere for them to grab it.
Oh, yes, yes. There is actually there is let me just go.
So whenever they finally get Python, they can step through what you've done. They can use that to remember. They can take it as a walk along file with the video. They can go back to watch the recording. Oh, okay, great. I see you've shared it.
Shared
Awesome,
it.
great. Okay. So for everyone who maybe joined late or want to rewatch the video, the recorded session will be will be live on YouTube by tomorrow. Let me just paste the YouTube channel link. Okay. So in the absence of questions, thank you very much, Brian, for these it's quite comprehensive actually. You started from how to turn on the functionality. So because people are gonna want to check how to see it also in there. So you show them how to turn on the functionality. You show them, you talk mentioned the peculiarities they might face in terms of maybe they turn it on and they don't see the function, or depending on whether they are on an individual account or an enterprise account. And then we share the links to how they can read up on the turning on the beta functionality, and also official introduction to Python in Excel from Microsoft. So we shared that. And then you now started with the explanation of how to enter the Python mode, the keyboard shortcut, Control Shift P, understanding the change to PY. So if we look at it from that starting point to where we are, where you've created charts, you've used some components of the data frame, uh, functionality within Python. So it's kind of a lot we've covered in 1 hour. Thank you very, very much. And to everyone who has stayed till now, please, I'm sharing some links. If you've not connected to Brian, you can connect with him. And let me reshare that part. You can connect with him on LinkedIn. Also, I've shared a session feedback link. Let us um, let us know your feedback. And if you want to be a speaker, or you know someone who you feel we should invite, please feel free to pass our speaker form to them, or you yourself, if you're the one who wants to come present to us, fill the speaker form. And Brian, I think that's all right. Or you have any more things to share?
No, nothing much. I just wanted to because I found the link to the insiders program.
Okay,
If I
okay,
could talk
cool.
about that a little bit.
Okay,
So
yes, you can.
all you have to I shared it on the chat too. So all you have to do is just to come here. It's very if you read it through, it's quite self-explanatory. So all what I've been saying, you can see this is personal and
Your
family and with this.
screen is not showing, or whatever you've opened is probably on a different screen.
Okay.
Or maybe you are sharing just your screen, your window, not the entire.
confirm if you can see it now.
Yeah, now we see.
Can you see can you see my
Mhm.
Excel sheet or the web page?
Web page. I
Web page, okay.
see. Yeah.
Okay, so this is so why I say this it's very self-explanatory. This is what you'll be seeing when you've signed up for Microsoft Insider. So all you have to do is just come here and click on it and select better channels. As I said, the same issues I had. I'm a business. My own account is business and education, and you see, we cannot. There may be no like you won't have the option to install or manage Insider unless your administrator has enabled it. So this is why I did not know and I actually struggle with it. But now I know I'm sharing it to everyone. Then if you have if a personal or a family account, you can easily just switch to Microsoft. So this is the better channel. So you're mostly likely going to be on current channel. This is for normal um, Excel. For better channel, you get to see like the things they are working on, and you can actually test it and give them feedback. So it's quite explanatory. So you can just come here and sign up and start and wait for the 1 week, or it may be faster for you. I don't know. And you get Python in Excel.
Okay. I still have a feeling like let me check on your Teams. If you click
Okay.
on more and settings and devices, are you able to check? I'm guessing.
On my Teams or my Python, on my
No,
Excel.
Teams. No, Teams, Microsoft Teams. If you click on your Teams, then where it says more and then device settings devices, do you see where I'm mentioning?
Like those three dots at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
Few more apps.
No, not view more apps. You might need to double go to where you will have seen our chat.
Okay, yes, I'm at the chat now.
Okay, you see more. You see the three buttons, the three dots, right?
Yes. Okay, let me.
Uh, Let me know. I just want to use the opportunity to be very certain that I know today's zone is already gone. It might not have more effect, any effect today, but it will help in subsequent sessions. So have you seen something that says settings, more
No,
settings, and then device or even device settings, anything that's related to settings or device?
no, I didn't. Let me just share my screen so I can show you.
By the way, share your entire screen. Whatever you can share, whichever you feel you want to. Okay. So not this one. On the actual where all of us are showing on the session screen. This is
Okay,
the
okay.
yeah.
This.
Okay. So you see the three dots.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Settings. Device setting. Logi USB. That's strange. Microphone logi. The audio sounds very strange. Like, okay, maybe we'll just test it together later on because the quality should be a lot better and to since you might even do some recordings too. Okay, but thanks. I just wanted to confirm that. If you click on the audio, wait, just one thing for the mic. If you click, let's see all the options that shows under the microphone. Hmm, okay, all right. Uh, Thank you. I just wanted to be certain
Okay.
that I wasn't imagining things. Okay, so I think we have come to the hour. So I'm going to close the session now. Thanks to everyone. I think we've answered all the questions, and now you have the file. You can all go ahead and practice by yourself So thank you very, very much and have a wonderful week ahead. If you're interested in Power BI, I will share the link for the Power BI session. That one is going to happen in about 1 hour. So I will just let me just share my screen. Maybe you can see it as I pull up the link. So for Power BI, we have someone taking us on utilizing analysis services for data modeling. So for Longshore, and you are invited. So I'm posting the link now. You are invited. Happens in 1 hour. Okay, so thank you very much and have a wonderful week ahead. I am ending this session now. Bye.